Get on up in here. Get on up in here. Come on. Come closer. Come closer. Come closer. That's a little bit too close. Today I'm going to be sharing with you all the location or the place on my property where I would site my greenhouse. I am waiting on 2 contractors to come. I have one gentleman that's coming and he's going to give me a quote because I need to fix some of my fence posts on my privacy fence. And then I have another gentleman that's coming to give me a quote on a tiny house. So yesterday we went and we looked at greenhouse alternatives, and my thought process behind that was I would come in, take the shed, any shed that I get on my property, one is going to have to be custom built. Like they're not going to be able to come in and drop it off like, already prefab. So since I have to go through the expense and pay for them to build the shed the way that I want it to be, then I might as well get what I'm looking for. I'm looking for an actual work space. In the event that the shed, I don't end up going that way, I do want to exhaust all my options. So a tiny home is something that I'm looking at doing as well. So with a tiny home, it would benefit me to go that direction because I could have electrical, which if I had a shed in a greenhouse, I would have that as well. But I could also add a little bit more plumbing and the space could be a little bit more functional. The tiny house would be more like a greenhouse, tiny house combo. And then what I would do is I would come in and I would get a lean-to greenhouse built on the side of that tiny home. In addition with having a tiny home, it would give me the option to be able to have a bathroom in that location as well. I don't know which direction I'm going to be going once I get the bid from the contractor that's coming out today. So I just want to make sure that I'm, just optimizing and making sure that since I'm going to be spending a cute coin, because even though the sheds that we looked at yesterday, they were significantly less than the Hartley greenhouse. They were a little bit cheaper than the BC greenhouse. And in some instances, the BC greenhouse, depending on which option you go with, was actually cheaper than the sheds that I looked at. So with that being said, I'm going to take you all out and I'm going to show you the location that I'm looking at as far as where my shed will be. And that's also the side that I'm looking at having them come and replace some posts on my fence. So I'm really kind of like pushing the limits. I'm going to definitely want to think outside of the box. I want to look at all of the options. I know you all were suggesting down in the comment section about, hey, maybe go with the greenhouse. I even got emails on, hey, instead of doing a greenhouse, maybe do a shed. And I really appreciate that. I appreciate so many of the opinions that you all give down in the comment section because, hey, nobody knows it all. Nobody has all the answers to everything. And so with that being said, it's always nice to look at another option from somebody else's perspective, and just at the end of the day, you eventually decide on what makes you happy. So they should be here, give me the estimate. So I have the first gentleman coming. He's going to come and give me the quote on the fence. And so I have about 35 to 45 minutes allotted with him. And then after that, the contractor that's coming, we're going to talk about the tiny house. We're going to talk about all of the options and things of that nature. And I'll make sure to come back and share those with you all once we are all done talking about it. Back garden starts right here on this side of the fence, but on the other side of the fence it starts a little bit further. So the fence is not symmetrical to my home. So we'll walk down here and I'll show you about where I'm thinking about the space that I'm going to allocate to my greenhouse, tiny home, or shed. From about like right here on back, all of this would be the area that I will put my greenhouse shed combo at. So it'll stop about like right here. So this section, so I have more than enough room, but I do have to replace some posts. So right here, I got to get this post replaced. So you come in and you go on either side. I'll show you on the inside too. But this area right here, this would be the section where we would come in at, and we would add the greenhouse shed combo. So we definitely have enough room to come in and put a shed or a greenhouse right here on this side. I can totally see that there has been some type of squirrel in here. Do you see how it has the moss pulled back? So I'm just gonna tuck this in really quick. Now they know to stay out of my containers. I mean, they got it all pushed back, baby. Right here, we'll put that back in here. I mean, it is just flipped every whiching way. Okay, clean this up a bit. Actually, the whole entire little area could afford to be cleaned up. Let's go get a bucket real quick so we can clean this up. So we'll grab this bucket right here. We'll just set it right here for right now. And we'll just go in and start to clean up all of the leaves here. It shouldn't take us long. Have all of the leaves out. I cleaned off all of the blooms that were not doing us any type of justice. So what we're going to do now, we're going to fertilize this cyclamen. Yes, we're going to fertilize, and we're fertilizing in November. Reason being is, if you get down in the undercarriage, you can see where we still have a lot of blooms that's waiting to come up. So we're just going to give them that extra energy that they need in order to push on out. We get down in here, here's another bloom. I feel like you could just clean these up like all day long. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to take this one off too. But if you look, can you see that right here? Bam! So here is a bloom right here. Hold on, focus. So these is so many of these blooms that haven't even came out yet. So we're going to just give them some fertilizer. That way they can go ahead and push on out. So same thing over here. There is a lot of blooms. When you pull back that undercarriage, you can see where it's trying to bloom. So we'll cover this back up, and we'll go ahead and we'll mix some fertilizer up really quick. Even without the bloom, I still like the way that it looks. I love the texture of everything. Look at that. The cyclamen foliage or foliage, depending on where you're from, up against the moss here really looks good. I like it. I feel like we should almost dress up this container right here, and then also dress up this container to give it all a cohesive look. When it comes to fertilizer, I will use whatever fertilizer I have on hand. I have this Proven Winners fertilizer right here, and it's good for flowering plants. I will use Osmocote, whatever, but since I have the Proven Winners fertilizer right here, and I don't think I see any of the Osmocote or any of the Miracle Grow, we are going to go ahead and just use this bucket right here. It just comes in a bucket. It's 2 bags. And what I do is I take 1 bag and I will set 1 bag on the inside of here. I'll dump the total contents inside of the bucket. And then I'll take the second bag and I just store that in a different area. So what we'll do is, let me see. I'm still checking to see if I see any of the other type of fertilizers that I use right here. And no. So what we're going to do, we're just going to go ahead and use this Proven Winners fertilizer. I'm going to just take a scoop, and I went ahead and I put a glove on just this one hand right here while I prep. And we're not going to do a full concentration. We're going to take about maybe like this much right here. We're just going to put it inside of our watering can and just get some water inside of there. We're just going to come around the perimeter here and we're just going to water. Now, since I made an entire batch up, I have some more plants that I'll go ahead and put the rest of this fertilizer in. I have 2 geraniums here that I recently brought in. They're going to be overwintered here. And so I already have a batch of fertilizer made up. We'll go in, we'll fertilize these. Now, this is not the normal strength that I would use when I'm fertilizing my plants. It's diluted, if you will. We'll water this in, and so that way we can continue to get blooms. Now I have this plant over here sitting on top of a saucer. I don't have a saucer for the other one right there. So what we'll do before we fertilize this geranium over here, we'll head in, we'll get the saucer, and then we'll get it up underneath the planter. This size saucer right here will be great. So we'll set everything to the side and get that out. It is dusty, so we're going to wash this up real quick. We're not going to use anything special. Here is just some concentrated bleach. I always use like a no splash formula. So we'll just come in, if I can get this top off really quick. So we're just going to use a small amount of bleach. Now remember that your terracotta is going to be porous. So we're just going to pour just a small little amount in here. And that's really overkill. I'm going to use a little bit of baking soda as well. It's all nice and cleaned up, so let's go get it up underneath the pot that it's going to go on. I talked to the contractor about the tiny house, and what he's saying that for what I'm looking for, I'm looking at about maybe $20,000 to $30,000 give or take, because I want to have the tiny house, and then I also want to have a lean-to greenhouse as well. So that's kind of what I'm looking at with all of the amenities and things that I want to add in there. But he said he can never give a final until he sends out a quote. So he just gave me like a ballpark figure, and I was okay with that because it's ballpark, and he said it could go over the top number that he gave me. But anywho, I thought it was getting ready to rain, but it looks like it just got dark a little bit. So more than likely, we're going to be able to beat the rain. So what I want to do is I want to head to Home Depot because I need to see what their inventory is looking like. We recently went to Lowe's. Lowe's didn't have what I was looking for. So let's head to Home Depot and see what they have in their winter inventory. We're at Home Depot, so we'll see what type of greenery they have out. So it looks like they have some holiday decor baskets already planted up, $34.98. So just a mixed greenery basket, but we're definitely not looking for that. Here are some more variations here. And these are running $44.98. These actually have a little bit more in them than the ones in the front here. So this is what you get for $44.98, and then this is what you're going to get for $34.98. Over here on this side you have some, it looks like some arborvitaes, and these are coming in at $39.98. What kind of arb is this? Because you know all arbs are not created equally. Avoid cold drafts. It actually doesn't say what variety it is, so that can kind of be dangerous, especially if you're planning to use this in your holiday containers and then turn right back around and plant that into your landscape. Unless you have a large property, this could actually be dangerous because they're so large already. It could be an emerald green, and then it could be like a smaller type variety of arborvitae, but it's not necessarily telling us. Let's see if we have some labeling. Like sometimes they'll put it on the plant can, and I'm not really seeing anything. Let's look back at the smaller writing to see if it actually states what type of, okay, it's a holiday cedar upgrade, so it doesn't necessarily say which type it is. You guys see it? So right here it's just saying it is a emerald. Here, this one might be better for us. Okay, so if you look at that tag, the only thing that it is saying is it is a holiday emerald cedar upgrade. So plant one plant every 100 square feet of your home for optimal health and beauty. So this is probably one of the larger arbs right here. Okay, so let's keep looking. So we have some more arborvitaes. These are coming in at $12.98. All of these are just nothing but arbs in this entire section. All of this. So dwarf Alberta spruces, these are coming in at $39.98 here. Now this looks like a different type, and it is. This is a North Pole spruce upgrade. So this is certainly a different type of spruce right here versus the one right here. In these pots we have some miniature Alberta spruces here, $12.98. So right here we have some more winter greens with the lanterns here. These hang. How much are these coming in at? These are $44.98. And then the ones at the bottom, let me pull one of these out. These are hanging baskets, y'all. $24.98 for a hanging basket. Let me set that down here. This is what it looks like. And one of the evergreens is actually falling all out of these, so that probably happened in shipping. Let's set this back in here. And so if you look down in here, you can see that they actually use foam instead of soil. So it's actually pretty heavy. Let's get it back in there. I mean, these are not done very well. So we have some more holiday decor here. More spruce pots with the birch logs. And these are coming in at $69.98 for these on this side. And then you have some smaller ones for $44.98 as well. And some more with the tin can. When you use the tin can or any type of metal, it really accents your evergreens. I'm looking for a Christmas tree for the fresh trees, and the garden center is open, but I would just have to go around to get in there. It's nobody working out here, but it doesn't look like it's any Christmas trees. Let's walk around to the other side and let's see if we see anybody. Okay, so nobody on this side either, but they also don't have any Christmas trees. So all in all, I will say that this was a bust. And let me walk around to the other side. I just want to see what that is right there. Can you guys see in there? Like over there, right there. I want to see if those are wreaths or is it just some type of garland. I think it's a garland though. So yeah, those aren't wreaths. That had to be a garland.